U, which is essentially an organization that creates advisory boards for companies. So if you're an entrepreneur, we do that in the annual sales size range between 7 million and 100 million. Those are our companies that we work with. We create private advisory boards for them. And so as I got involved in Genius U and I was talking with several of the powers that be, including Duncan, who is here with us today, we decided we might be able to take that model and bring it into the Genius U community to help you take your businesses and move them further, faster. So that's in a nutshell why we're here today. And so what I'd like to do, just as an overview of today, is I'd like to get to know, I always like to get to know who's on the call, who's in the room, what is it that you're working, what is it that you do, and what is it that you're working on. And I'd like you to start to think right now, is there a specific question or something that you're trying to accomplish in the near term? And when I say near term, that's a relative term, but in the next 1 to 3 months, is there something that you're trying to get your hands around, something that you're trying to accomplish, be, do, or have? So we want to bring those into the group here today, and then we're going to figure out the creative ways to help you get that done in your flow and in a lot easier way and process. So I don't know if I missed anything, Duncan, in that sort of quick overview and recap. If you wanted to add, please do. Or if you want to give us any other logistical topics.
No, not at all. I was just sort of busy in the background there, getting things rolling on the live stream. But no, I think you've covered it, Del. And I think everybody here is kind of on the same page. I'm really happy, and I just want to thank Alison for being here, because you say, you know, what are you doing, and you know, what are your challenges and all the rest of it. And one thing that I'd hope these sessions would be, in terms of an interface between the partners and the partnerships team, will quite exactly that, you know, somewhere an interface. So it's great that Alison's here as well with me. What we're doing is trying to make the space better for all partners, and our challenges do include the fact that we don't always know what partners want. So while we're all here and we are all kind of the whole room is partner or mentor level, then of course it's great for me and Alison to be able to we're going to have loads of takeaways from tonight. That's what I'm trying to say, I think, Del. Awesome. I'm trying to think about 16 different things at once here. Thank God that the live stream is running.
Well, then without further ado, why don't we metaphorically go around the room and just introduce yourself to each other. I don't know if I'd be interested to know, when you do introduce yourself, if you do know anybody else that's on the call, because I'd be curious to know if we've already started some of those relationships. But tell us a little bit about you and your business. And then if you do have something in particular that you'd like for us to help you with and discuss today, please mention that as well. So I will start. Let's see. So Duncan, did you say that Alison, are you working with Duncan, or are you, I'm sorry, I missed that connection.
Well, Alison's a little bit of everything, and I'll let her speak for herself, but absolutely, Alison's a long-standing member of our mentor and partner community, but she is also part of the partnerships team as well now.
Awesome.
Alison, tell us what you do.
All right.
Yes, it's so good to be here. Thank you for the reminder. Yes, as Duncan says, I am on the partnerships team, and I'm also a partner. So I'm in a very interesting position where I can see both sides of it. So I understand what they're trying to do to support the partners. I'm also a partner, so I understand the frustrations of being a partner, and the good and the bad and the ugly. So I sort of play in that middle ground. So I'm here in both capacities today. So yeah.
Awesome. And as a partner, do you have a business that you're working on?
Yes, I am also creative, so I'm all over the place. So my business is simply colossal, and I think my bottom line is that I make marketing ridiculously easy, because what's happening is that, because I'm from old school marketing, and it was basic solids. This is what you do. This is marketing separate from sales. And then the internet came along, and it's just this big merge of everything. And a lot of the basics are lost, and the basics are so simple. So I just bring that basics back to it with an internet spin.
Fantastic. So given the immense amount of brain power that's in the room, is there something that you would like for us to help you with in particular today?
Yeah, so I feel like I am in the middle of a whirlwind because I'm playing so many parts and my own business gets stuck. And it's, how do I practice what I preach for myself? So I think it's just getting grounded. And I've also been playing it too safe. So how do you break free from playing that safe and saying, this is what, this is me in my full capacity? Because especially with marketing, there are so many people saying this is marketing, this is how I do it. But I'm from a totally different side. So I've got this business side, but I've also got the spirit side. And that's why I love the Spirit Genius, where there's, and I do vibrational marketing, because no matter what you say, if your vibration doesn't reflect that, if you are stressed about marketing and you bring that chaos, that's what you're going to put out there. So it's sort of just making marketing simple by bringing it back to you. So how do I make impractical marketing and still be authentic without alienating certain teams? I'm sort of there.
Okay. All right. Great. All right. And I just want to perhaps apologize or to recognize in advance. I am your classic, typical ignorant American. I only speak actually 1.5 languages. I'm working on my Spanish right now. So, and as I deal with so many people around the world, I find so many people that are bilingual, trilingual, and ultimately multilingual. I'm working on that. I'm trying to get as smart as the rest of you. But if I mispronounce your name, I am very sorry, and please correct me. Names, I believe, are extremely important because they are you and they're unique to you. And I do not want to mismanage or mishandle your name. So if I do that, please correct me. But as we move on, let's go to Roxana.
Hi, Del. You can practice Spanish with me. I'm from Argentina. I mentioned last time that I have a travel agency and I work with deaf people. So I am at the crossroads because I don't know exactly if to keep here or go into education, because that's another topic that is really worried to me because of the situation here in the country. But I'm called from my deaf passengers all the time. So, and now we have the Deaf Olympics in Brazil. In a place that is really very difficult to go. I mean, there's, the possibilities to no good, infrastructure and location in the location, and also connections, air connections. So, I'm trying to see how the people from Argentina get there, because apparently there are no hotels. Or they are, we don't know now with this world situation, but basically, apparently there would be some teams that would travel there. And so, I don't know what, well, I keep on working with the deaf community because I have never done any marketing ever. So it started really, no, it was not planned. I hired someone who was hypoacusic, and I started working in the deaf community. He left, and people kept on coming. And as this is me only, well, then I kept on working. So, and they know me and they trust me. And I've been working in this community for nearly 15 years. And my long-term dream is to have services, like a platform with services for deaf people. But of course, at this stage is like really far away, because from a tiny travel agency to what I want to do there are many steps on the way. So it would be good. This is my concern, is how to, start adding people and kind of, I would like to have joint ventures with someone who would have the infrastructure that I don't have, or who I can cooperate.
Okay, perfect.
Because in the world, there are 350 million people who are deaf.
Perfect. All right. Muchas gracias.
No, a usted. Cuando quiera, hablamos y practicamos español.
Habla inglés muy bien.
No, thank you.
All right, let's move on. Suzanne?
Okay, here we go. Hello, it's Susanne.
I'm sorry?
This is Susanne with sunshine in the middle. It's German.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, so I just heard about this like 2 hours ago from your email, Duncan. So thank you very much. It was timely because just this morning I spoke with a nice lady in New Zealand about wanting to have mentorship this year again. I am kind of like a total creative. I have experience and I have a degree in architecture. I practiced in the building industry for a while, and I'm also into fashion and accessoires or accessories. And I came back to Genius U in the last summer, wanting to create a worldwide community for highly sensitive people in leadership and to connect them. And the thread that like binds these together is that I'm a highly sensitive person myself. I'm also a left-handed person. I have people like different written there. And it just allowed me to get like many different viewpoints about the world we live in. My first course of study was physics. So I feel like kind of your typical Renaissance person. And I have been a finalist in the Independent Handbag Designer Awards in 2015 in New York. And since then, I've had people chase me. They wanted my bags on online platforms, and agencies wanted me to show at Fashion Week. And I just felt, Fashion Week for me, it's like the Olympics. I always wanted to do that. It's your typical vision board thing. And I think it's basically a major marketing campaign if done correctly. So I now committed with one agency to go for New York in September. And I'm like, okay, I could use some support here. So that, first of all, I need to raise the money. And I feel like I want to not to have this firework and then it's gone. Yeah. I feel that needs to be some serious foundation and growth ability in the background, and I could seriously have some help with that.
Great. All right, we can certainly do that. And please help me out. Pronounce your name for me one more time so I can make sure that I can hear it.
I'm sorry, my nose isn't helping it. Susanne.
Susanne, okay. All right. Perfect. So nice to meet you. All right, moving on. Xander. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Hey, hi. Such a pleasure to be here with all of you. And I've seen your picture so many times, and now it's happening. So I met Roger in 2007, 15 years ago, when he was launching Well Dynamics in London. So I met this girl at the weekend. They had a really big thing over the weekend, like a course. I met this girl and I got married. I'm great that she was a supporter. So we grew to 6-figure. business and things went well. And we separated now the business. So I'm actually rebranding. I've studied a lot about flow because I've learned from Roger about flow, what it is. And then I've just published last year a book called Humans in Flow. So once you know your profile, there are ways to go deeper. And one of the first courses Duncan was helping me to publish 2 weeks ago is trigger the flow state when reading. So I'm running some pilots now. So with each of the profiles, there is a different strategy to get passionate and to find pleasure in reading articles and books, because Roger talks about all the new DAO, decentralized DAO, and this and this and this and this. And then he said, you can look this and you can read this article, and we don't do it because it's too much to read and I get tired. So there's a way to go faster and get focused, get in flow. One of the first access points that I've developed. So as I've been living in for 20 years in London, now I'm in France. I moved to France last year. But I've got a connection with the minister, the Secretary of State for Transport in the UK. And my good friend is his mentor because he taught him how to be a pilot. So I showed him what I'm doing, and he told the minister, and the minister want to roll this kind of nationwide, because it's like the basics of every science is reading, and we read still with the same strategy as teenagers, because as an adult, no one tells us how to be better. So I don't have capacity, basically.
Okay. All right.
So the platform now, the Genius U, I put my courses there, and now running some pilots. If I can select some people with knowing the profile, get this very clear for each one, and then we can be something really roll out nationwide there and then in the world. But so that's the
fantastic.
That's the dream.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And as we're going through this, I'm loving this. I'm loving the sharing, and I'm loving the information that I'm getting from each of you. And I'm getting very excited about the different things that you're doing. I think there's some great things that are out there. As you are listening to each of these, I want to put you into a slightly different state than you may be. And you may already be in this state, but perhaps I want to put you in a slightly different state. I want you to think about the state of collaboration. And as you're listening to other people, think about how you can add to them and how they can potentially add to you. And collaboration is a little bit different from quote unquote sales, right? So I don't want you to have the mindset of, oh, I might be able to sell my product or service to that person or to that person. Because through collaboration, the ultimate outcome of sales is to generate income. You can do that also through collaboration. And actually, some may argue that you can actually sort of multiply your effect of sales and income through collaboration more than just thinking about sales. So I want to put you into that mindset. Is everybody open to that? And does that make sense? I want to put you into that collaborative mindset. All right, fantastic. Let's move on. Sheila, are you there? I see a name, but I don't see a face, and that's okay. I have Sheila King.
Yeah, I'm actually just on the call to listen and hear what it's about today.
All right, fantastic. That is certainly welcome. So, and as you get into that collaborative state, if you want to chime in, just raise your hand and let us know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Joyce, are you there? I see a name there as well.
Yes, I'm here. Like the previous lady, I'm just here to listen today because I feel that every opportunity is a learning opportunity. And I don't know, who knows, something might come up.
I'm sorry, I missed that last piece.
I said something might come up, something I'm interested in.
Awesome. All right, fantastic. Well, welcome. Welcome.
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. Cassie, are you there with us?
Yes, I'm here. I just left my note in the chat. So lifelong entrepreneur, just kind of finally jumped into the crew, finally got onto a live call. I'm a service provider as well as a coach, and really interested in what Roger is doing with the Web3 space, the metaverse, etc. And so I am also a hypnotherapist. So I'm looking at different experiences of how I can connect with Oculus and start doing different immersion experiences with group hypnotherapy with VR. Outside of that, just really going to be scaling from one-to-one into one-to-many group sessions and building my business that way. So happy to be here, and always great to be in your guys' presence.
Fantastic. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Tina, it's good to see you, quote unquote, and have your presence again. You and I have talked on a couple of occasions. Welcome.
Yeah, we did. I'm really sorry. I'm not really sure if it's only my connection that isn't good. Our weather is not so good. So I only hear half of what people are saying. Sorry. Yeah, you know, I'm here because I always want to knowledge share, and I'm like a sponge. I love to learn from everybody. Long time standing Genius U member. I've been kind of off for, yeah, I guess almost 2 years. I got a lung disease, so I've been in quarantine by myself. And that's been really taking a harder toll on me than I thought it would. I thought, okay, I can work online, that's no problem, but the social issue has really burned me out. So I need to get back in the game.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's see if we can get you safely back into the game. How does that sound?
I didn't hear the last part, but I saw you smiling.
I said, we're going to see if we can get you safely back into the game.
Thank you.
All right. Welcome. All right. Sharon, are you there with us? I see a picture and a name.
Sharon, where are you? You're normally so exciting.
Well, maybe she was called away momentarily. No problem.
Oh, Sharon's doing loads of stuff at the moment, so maybe she has been called away momentarily.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. Is there anybody, I'm just looking at my screen and I think I got to everyone. Is there anyone that I missed? If I missed you, either raise your hand electronically or physically, or just call out. Okay, so I think we got everybody.
I think everyone was covered there, Del.
Okay, great, great. So I know that there are a few of you on here that are just observing and taking in, and I'm going to ask you if you feel like you want to participate. Oh, I think we just had Alex just joined us. Hey, Alex. Are you there? All right, well, maybe Alex is just going to observe as well. So as we go into this next part,
hi.
Oh, there he is. How are you?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Good.
All right, I think we've got some internet challenges today in some parts of the world.
Clear.
Yeah, okay. So Alex, we had just gone around the room and sort of introduced ourselves and what our business is about, if we had a business. And if we had a sort of primary challenge or a question, we indicated that as well. So I'll just ask you if you can share with us a little bit about yourself and your business briefly. And if you've got a particular challenge or something that you're working on, let us know what that is. but he might. Are you there? Can you? I think he might have some internet challenges.
I think there are quite a few internet challenges around, aren't there tonight?
Yeah, I think so.
He's unmuted, but he's not available. Let's move on.
Okay. Okay, I'm British, but I'm living in Asia. A new coaching and training business.
Okay. And what do you coach for? All right. So, Alex, I think what we'll do, if you can hear me, and hopefully you can, why don't you put into the chat, just very briefly, what type of coach you are? And if you've got something specifically that you're working on, a question that you have, put that in the chat as well. And we'll take a look at that. Because what I want to do now is I want to give each of you about 3 minutes, just very quickly, but I want you to think about this question or this quest or this outcome that you're looking for in the next couple of months and what seems to be getting in your way. And what I'd like to suggest is you form it in the form of how do I? So if you were to ask this auspicious group of brilliant people, your new partners and peers, how do I such and such? I'd like you to fill in that blank and think about that and be able to articulate that. All right. Because what I'm going to do in a minute is I'm going to, Duncan, with your help, we'll break them out into pairs if that's possible. And then I'd like for each of you to share your how do I question with each other, and then just get a little bit of feedback from your partner. So I'm going to put us on the clock for just 3 minutes. Think about your question, aspiration, outcome. Put it in the form of a how do I type question, and then we will pair off in just a minute.
And I'll just add, guys, that it was a bit, but I never know what to do in terms of pairing off. So this time I'm going to let, we can assign it automatically. So yeah, I'm not having to choose. Suzanne, your story is just so incredibly glamorous, and I can't believe that for all intents and purposes, Fashion Week is going to be your kind of launch event, maybe, as it were. So much for us to get stuck into there, Suzanne. Susanna.
Well, thank you. I mean, the handbag competition was also like that. I received a newsletter and I pondered it for, I don't know, 6 weeks until admission deadline was near, and a friend like kicked me. It's like, of course you're going to do something. So I made the application on the weekend and I got a call the following Monday or Tuesday at night, obviously. And she said we had like 10 days to find somebody to, it was a sketch-based competition. So then I had to find somebody to make that handbag, ship it to New York, make a video, go on all the social media channels I'd never before heard of. It was crazy. And it's a part of my architectural studies involved this kind of thing. We got an appointment on Friday afternoon, and we had to hand it in on Monday till noon. Amazing. So it was yeah, and all of that makes me think, okay, we can do that. I mean, it's not I don't have to have 20 models, but she challenges me to have 6.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's hope that we get, I mean, you know, I'd like to get, I'm happy to get into a room with anybody, but I'm always happy to talk about handbags. I mean, the more we men can find out about handbags, surely that's going to make our life easier. But it just sounds, with a background in events, it just sounds like an amazing an amazing opportunity you've got there. Del, do you want us to break out? And well, before we get there, do you want to say?
Yeah, yes, please. Let's break out. We're going to break into pairs, and you should have at least a formulation of your "How do I" question. And we're going to do this for about a total of 5 or 6 minutes. We might not need that long, maybe 5 minutes. This is the way we'll do it. When you get into your breakout room, the person whose first name starts closest to the beginning of the alphabet. So if your name starts with A, you would go before your partner whose first name starts with T. If that's an example, you go first. And I want you to just express your question to your partner. How do I blah, blah, blah. And then if your partner needs to ask you some clarifying questions about what does that mean or what are you looking for, spend a few minutes asking those clarifying questions. And I want the partner to offer a resource or a suggestion. And then we'll switch. And we'll probably put a little note in the chat room for you when it's time to switch. And when you switch, the other person, the person whose first name starts further along in the alphabet, will state their question. How do I? If your partner needs to ask some clarifying questions, ask those. And then I want your partner to offer a resource or a suggestion. And then we'll come back into the main room and we'll debrief that. But this is our first chance of sort of getting together and starting to collaborate. Does anybody have any questions on that? If you do, just raise your hand or speak up. Okay.
And I'm thinking maybe it's a little bit too early since it's such a small group of 12. And we haven't really had an opportunity to go through the Google Doc and see who's who. So there's no I mean, it's like a blind date or 2-minute, what do you call it, speed dating. Speed dating is kind of to get to know each other first, not to do complicated, will you want to marry me questions.
Well, you can be as coy as you like, Tina.
I know, Duncan, I know.
Tina, I'm just going to ask you and everyone else on the call to trust me. There is usually a method to my madness. So I would like everybody to jump in because, and I will just address this for 1 second real quick, because you do raise a very interesting point, Tina. I think she might have just dropped off, but I'll say it to everybody else. We oftentimes, well, let's go into breakout rooms and I'll come back and I'll answer that, because I think we're starting to break out now. So I will come back and answer that. And Duncan, do you want me to go into a room?
I'll put you in a room.
Okay, great.
I believe so. Room 3, Del.
Can you send me again? I just came back because there was nobody in the room.
I know. I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
We were a person short. Somebody can't join. There we go.
Thank you.
You're in room number 5. No worries, Cassie. If you can't join, that's all good. Sharon, I did put you in a room, but maybe you can't join either. So let's move. There we go, guys. I think anybody who can join has joined the room. Let me know if not. Sharon, you are here with us.
Hi, yeah, I'm sorry. This meeting, I wanted to attend so bad and something came up and I had to leave the computer and go handle it. So I'm just now back.
No worries at all. The guys have just they're out in a breakout room. Dell's just come back. I actually set them to close in. I don't think I
Yeah,
said
the
anything, but it
breakout
says
room, I came back when you had sent us to the breakout room, but I was the only one there. So I just came back here.
Okay. Well, folks are coming back now anyway.
Yeah, I think they're coming back. Xander, I just want to. We got a warning that there was a minute, and then we came immediately back. So I didn't get a chance to complete my comment to Xander. So Xander, I'm just going to finish up real quick. When I say niche, when I talk about niche, it's not to the exclusion of doing business with anybody else. It's to help you get focused, and it's to help you to get that identified track record with a certain group of people. So what I'd like you to do first is I'd like you to really hone in on a specific niche or group of people that you're going to roll this out to first. That's the first step, and then we can talk about other steps. All right.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. I see folks are coming back. Fantastic. All right. So first of all, just raise your hand or give me a thumbs up if actually both of you in your breakout group were able to present your question. Hopefully that worked. Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Roxana, were you unable to do both people?
Well, no, but it doesn't matter. No problem. No problem.
Okay. And Allison, you weren't able to do both people either?
So we were three, and we were only able to do me because I got input from two other people as well. So thank you for that. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
We did have at 2 points. We had a spare participant, so I chucked them in. But I know that Alison can talk for days. So if did you say that they only heard about you, Alison, or didn't have time for you?
I think she might have been the only one.
I was the only one who actually got some useful information. So thank you. I'm grateful, but you know where to find me. We can do it some other time.
All right.
Well, also of course, we're all going to be in the circle as well. So.
Okay. So I did that, as I said, and Tina had given me some questions around that. And as I said, there's a method to my madness. And what I wanted to explain to everybody was one of the reasons why I did that, even though you don't know each other well, is that collaboration can come from some of the strangest, most out of the way places. That's one point. And the other point is that I think all too often we as entrepreneurs actually put handcuffs on ourselves because we don't do things because we don't think we're ready to do them. And, we could spend all day saying, well, I don't know that person that well. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know like their mother's maiden name. So I'm not going to contact them, right? And that really puts the handcuffs on. And what I want you to get more experienced with is understanding who you are, what you want, and where you want to go. Because I'm going to make the assumption, and I have no problem making this assumption, that everybody on this call is doing something that is of value to the world. And so there's no need for you to ever apologize for that. And in fact, you owe it to the world to trumpet it to the world. And that's why I want you to get more comfortable with talking about what you need and where you want to go. Because while it will certainly benefit you personally, its real benefit is to the rest of the world and to your constituency, your ideal clients, and your tribe. So that's why we did the little exercise that we did. If you want to get into sort of the psycho head of Del Lewis and the method of around his madness, Tina, that's why we did what we did. All right. Now what I want to do is sort of bring it into the group collaborative setting. So just either raise your hand if you're on camera or raise your hand electronically. Who has their how do I question they would like some group input and like me to facilitate that conversation around? And we can probably get to a couple of them today.
Well, you know, there's some great stuff. There's some great stuff in the sheet, guys. So don't be shy.
Yeah.
Xander, Xander wants to talk about creating a sales funnel. Alison's worried about playing it too safe. Dolly needs to get her team charter started. Of course, Suzanne needs to work about how she's going to get funding for her fashion show in September. So don't be shy, guys.
Yep. And actually, this brings up a point that I will probably talk about at the end, toward the end, but I want to bring it up now. We do have a circle. We do have an advisory board circle. So our conversations can continue after today. So I strongly encourage you to join the circle. I'd love to see you over there. I'm in it all the time, and I'm engaging all the time in the circle. So just wanted to mention that. So I think for the foundation question, let's start with Allison, because this idea of playing it safe, I think whether you are conscious or unconscious to it, it is something that we all as business people tend to have to deal with from time to time. So Allison, tell us a little bit more about, first of all, state your how do I question, and then we'll ask you some clarifying questions.
Yes, how do I remain authentic to myself as I rebrand without worrying about the people that will no longer resonate with what I do?
Okay, so I got the second half with the people without alienating the people that will no longer resonate with what you do. What was the first part? How do I
rebrand authentically?
Okay, rebrand authentically. All right, great. All right. So when you say rebrand, do you have an idea of what you are rebranding into?
Yeah, so I'm moving more from the practicalities of marketing, like this is what you do, to this is how you be. And it blends quantum physics. And I've got a book that I wrote about it. I've written a couple of books, but the one that I feel which is my baby, that it's a baby on the shelf. I have ignored this baby because it's marketing as a spiritual practice. So how do I embrace that and just be my book? Because, but if somebody asks me what do I do, I'll say I'm a marketing consultant. I don't say I do marketing as a spiritual practice, so it's like, yeah.
Okay. And what is it about that gives you some hesitation? What is it about making that step or stepping in through that door that gives you some hesitation?
It is the circles where, like, for example, with Genius You, especially, it's a very, very practical. This is what you do. These are the steps. It's very practical. I can't but now how are you vibrating at a good vibration when you do that? I mean, nobody's going to listen. They're going to look at me as if I'm a bit, maybe I don't belong. Yes, I think it's also finding the right places to be where I need to be. Do I not show up in those places? Do I change who I am in those places? Do I create my own space within that space?
Okay. All right. I want to get with the group. Does everybody understand what Allison is grappling with? And does everybody understand what her question is? Okay. All right. Just by show of hands, if you could be so bold, how many of you resonate with what Allison is going through and maybe in the past have gone through something like that? I will certainly raise my hand to say that in the past, I have had those thoughts and feelings. Okay, fantastic. All right. So I want to, first, let me open it up to the room. Who has a suggestion and or observation that they might want to give Allison to help her through this challenge and to take that step through the door? Just raise your hand and I'll call on you, or if you, yes, Susanna.
Right. I mentored for 4.5 years with a business mentor, and she focuses on highly sensitive entrepreneurs. So everybody in that group went through what you're going through. Everybody went from being in an ordinary business or in a 9-to-5 and like having their coming out as a spiritual person, doing whatever they do, but differently. I have that specific flavor of marketing, like internalized. I would love to work with you. I can show you the tools I've learned and you can help me promote this baby. Awesome. We should talk.
All right. So 2 things. Number 1, there's at least one person in this world who doesn't think you're crazy. All right. I happen to know that there are a lot more, but you've just gotten proof that there's at least one. And the second is, Susanna, I wanted to just ask you, of that group of people that you worked with for several years that were facing this similar challenge, is there anything that you can point to that they did to help them overcome that feeling of potential alienation of a market?
I would say it's a retraining of the mind, basically. It's a different mindset. And that takes some time, I'm afraid to say. We use specific tools, especially to manage our energy, which, as a highly sensitive person, that's like brushing my teeth. I need to do that all the time, or I can't show up like I want to and be of service to my clients. Yeah, and she had this whole training course for us, so we went through the steps. We have obviously our plans in place. I just mentioned to Alex a book that I would highly recommend. It's called Attracting Perfect Customers. I hope I got that right. I can look again. Attracting Perfect Customers, The Power of Strategic Synchronicity. And I know I need to work through it again, and I'm happy to do it with the 2 of you because it basically helps you to get a blueprint of your customer. And as you said before, if that's what you give out, you attract it back. So
yep.
I get it. And I think I'm just so grateful and touched right now that I read your message, Duncan, and that I'm here with you fabulous people. It's just cool.
Oh, well, awesome. We feel the same way. Could you please put that book title in the chat for everyone? That would be fantastic. Thank you. Who else has something, an observation or a suggestion that they'd like to give Allison as it relates to this particular challenge?
I got a point. I'm not sure because, and Alison know that, it's because I'm a Viking, I guess. I have trouble understanding Alison at points. It's not her accent, but it's more the echoing in her voice system, I think. But if I understood it right, it's the challenge is changing brand from one area to another. Is that
yes, and I think more specifically, it's the fear. That's my word. She might not use that word, but it's the fear of losing a group of people or looking like you're not a real true professional, and talking about something that you think doesn't make sense to others.
Yeah.
I just want to also just add, maybe just to put something in there that I'm currently in both worlds. So because a lot of my clients are also spirit people, so I'm able to speak the language with them and do that. But then I'm also the other side. So it's like, how do I balance? Do I have to balance? Yeah. Do I choose one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I might have missed the part of what is the connection between these 2 different areas? Is there a connection?
Yes, so I can do a marketing program, or I can write a marketing book on how to do marketing practically. I can do a similar book on how to do marketing with your vibration. And but which one do I choose? Do I choose to do the marketing with your vibration and own that and phase out the other? Or
okay, I think it's I can draw parallels to me being an accountant my whole life. And now I'm mostly working as a mentor. But I found it was a natural step for me from being an accountant who actually counseled my clients, not only in the tax and economical department, but in that to grow a business and find their life balance. I realized that I've been doing that on the side my whole life. And now I found that it's more valuable for me. And luckily, the internet and everything, Internet of Things have done that. The economical part, the tax and the law department, it's very, very digital tools. So I can spend more time on the HR part of it. So I found the common denominator between those two, and so I branded myself. I'm still running an accounting company, but I'm more the mentor now, and that made another step to the being coaching mentors, because I've been through now 15 years of being a mentor, so I know how that transition worked. So you might say that I'm doing 3 different kinds of brands now, but in one, and none of them can be parted. They still have a connection, if you know what I mean.
Yes. It's always good to find the common denominators in the things that you're doing. And when you find the common denominator, that's the position from which you want to speak. So, and we can talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Thank you, Tina. Anybody else have a comment or observation for Allison? Okay. I want to give you something. I want to get everybody something. And this is, as we go through these advisory board sessions, you will hear me say that I will be giving you certain things that are the world according to Dell. And these are sort of my beliefs based upon my many years of experience, my hundreds of thousands of failures, and there's been a few successes sort of spattered in there as well. But here is, well, first let me ask you a question, Allison. What do you believe that any business owner or any business really truly wants, bottom line, from their marketing?
From the marketing, they really just want to have a group of people that share their values and happen to give them money, by the way, for it, for loving what they do. So yeah, so it's about just showing up authentically and attracting people that's going to give them money for what they do without it being a sell. It's just going to be a connection. So I think that's what most people, it needs to be effortless. It needs to be part of being who you are, shining your light and attracting the right people. Yeah.
And let's go even deeper. So when somebody says, I'm going to do marketing, or we're doing marketing, or we're doing this marketing plan, or we're going to pay a consultant for marketing, what is it that they ultimately want to get?
From my perspective, they want to have their dreams materialize. So from marketing brings in the money that they can live the life that they want to. That becomes a business. Yeah.
I would agree. I would agree. They are doing marketing because they want to make sales and they want to generate income. Would you agree?
I would agree that that's what they want to do. I might not necessarily agree with that is the right thing to do when it comes to vibration, but I do agree that's what the traditional marketing is about. Yeah.
Okay. Now, and do you believe that the way that you train, coach, and consult around marketing can deliver that result?
Yes.
Okay. So here is the golden nugget for today. This is your first Dellism of our advisory board sessions. All right. You have to understand who you are talking to, and you have to understand what they ultimately want. People do not want to buy what you think they need. People only want to buy what they want. And here is the golden nugget twist. That if people believe that you know and understand and have figured out what they want, and if they believe that you and your company can get them what they want, they do not care, by and large, how you do it. All right? Now, I will give the caveat that yes, they probably want you to do it legally, ethically, and morally, right? But other than that, they do not care how you do it. They want what they want. And if they believe you can get them what they want, they will allow you to do it however you do it. So this concept of I'm worried about alienating people, I'm not trying to delegitimize it because I've been there. So I understand it. I'm not criticizing it at all. But what I'm saying is that we need to break it down and we need to look at it differently. If you can help people get what they ultimately want through their marketing, you can do it in a way that resonates vibrationally with you. And they will love you for it because you will ultimately get them what they want. Does that make sense? All right, awesome. That's a great question. And as we go through these, I want everybody to start to think about, well, what is she saying? What's Allison saying that is similar to what I've got going on in my world? And it may not be verbatim and one for one. And what is the group saying to her that I could implement in my world? And what is Dell saying that I can implement in my world? So I want you to be thinking about that sort of holistically as we go through these sessions. They will become infinitely more valuable to you. Duncan, I want to do a quick check-in, and I apologize for not doing this a little bit earlier, but we did block off an hour and a half for this call. Is that correct? Or is it just
Absolutely, we did, yeah. I thought you were going to ask me for a check-in on the chat, and I was going to say, well, if you're into biltong, then that's what the guys are chatting about. I mentioned biltong earlier, you know, the South African, their version of the beef jerky. So
yes,
let me not take us off on a tangent at all.
And I have had it, and it is very good. I have had it. When I was in South Africa, a good friend of mine took me to his favorite biltong store. That was like all over the place, and we got several different types, and it was fantastic. So if I wasn't so busy with everything else, I would join in that conversation happily.
Yeah, well, absolutely, and we want to make it clear that we weren't busy there. It was just one or two words on biltong.
Okay, all right.
Fully showing up.
So, Allison, let me check in with you. What did you hear, and what, if anything, are you inspired to do next?
I heard that I'm just myself. The right people will show up, and the ones that don't, that's okay too. So thank you for that. It's just, yeah, that was my takeaway, that as long as I know what they want, it doesn't matter how I do it. I can chameleon as I go.
Yep. And I'll take it one step further for me.
Oh, of course, sorry.
I'm sorry, did someone just chime in?
It was me, yeah, because I missed my chance earlier, and I did want to say, when you asked, does anybody else got anything to say to Allison? Don't forget, of course, what Roger always says about, you know, being an expert or the expert. That's a huge, you know, plinth to stand on. You only need to be the leading learner, don't you, in the community? And if you can get yourself in a position where you've only got a slight edge in terms of information and motivation and all the rest of it, then I've always found that gives me the confidence I need to be able to operate in a world that I wouldn't necessarily feel that I'm entitled to be that confident in. And that's a star's point of view. I mean, you know, we're great at putting on that front, aren't we? That's our whole thing. But as other people have said on here, you know, I've been a bit of a jack of all trades and got myself involved in a number of different games because I've noticed that they're hot, and I haven't been too phased about the fact that I didn't really know too much about them, purely because faith not in my ability to put on a brave face or a good front and be a showman, but actually in the fact that I do feel like I have the ability to be a leading learner if I'm applying myself to something. And I know that that's you all over, Alison. I know you're an incredible sponge of information and an incredible researcher. And you know, these days, I'm talking maybe my idea of being a top desk researcher and getting my head in front in terms of information used to be sitting at a desk with, I have to admit, an ashtray and a yellow pages. and maybe going down the library of a morning before going to the office just to try and get an extra bit of info. So these days, the opportunity to be the leading learner is there for all of us, isn't it? Because all of the information's out there for those that can gather it and retain it the most quickly.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, and the one thing I was just going to add, Allison, is that for me, in all of my business endeavors, not only am I not worried about those that don't resonate with me not showing up, I'm actually grateful that those that don't resonate with me don't show up. Because if any of you have had the client from hell or the clients from hell, because they want to do things different than the way that you want to do them and resonate with you, that's no fun. And that's not being in flow. So you can take that belief and use it as you see it. I just wanted to share with you, that's my personal belief, is that not only am I not afraid of them not showing up, I'm glad that they don't. So, and I couple that with my mindset of abundance, which to me says there are more than enough people that resonate with me to show up. So just my personal 2 cents there.
Thank you.
Right.
That resonates. Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome. So I think we've got time for at least one more specific how do I question, and we'll go through that same type of format and try to get you to move you further along. So who would like to offer their how do I? All right, Susanna, you were the first one to raise your hand, so let's go.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This morning I thought, in the summer, I also completed the program with Jan about wealth dynamics to be able to do a debrief. And now I'm in a program called the Lightworker Accelerator. So I will be a certified compassion key facilitator in a few weeks. And I've already started telling my network about it. So I was thinking if I could just start raising funds by just offering these sessions on a, how do you say, what's the English word? Donation basis, where people can get these sessions from me, and I send some money to Ukraine and I send some money to my own dream fund for a fashion week. And just, facilitating these sessions is just pure fun. It's so joyful. And I thought I could use a couple of hours every week to do that. And
okay.
Maybe Allison can help me market that offer.
I think there's no question about that. She can help you do that. Help me understand, though, a little bit about the money flow as you've just articulated, because I wasn't quite sure. So you would do these sessions for people. They would pay you for those. I wasn't quite sure where the donation came in.
Oh, yes. I thought, since I'm new to it, I would allow people to put their own price tag on it and then gradually, obviously, raise that price.
Okay. And again, I just want to say something from a macro standpoint. I'll ask all of you a lot of questions, because I always believe that the power in anything moving forward is in the questions that we ask. From time to time, I will ask a question that has the word why in it. And 99.9% of the time, I don't ask that question because I want you to defend it or I'm being critical of you. 99.9% of the time, I'm asking that question because I'm really curious as to what your thought process is.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm wondering why you wanted to offer this on a pay what you like basis.
I think the instructor told us to not ask for money before certification, which is in a couple of weeks. And I thought, I'm keen to go. So I thought, okay, I can circumvent it this way. That's all.
Okay. All right. All right. And so then what, in your heart of hearts, what do you think about the trainer's request or suggestion that you not offer until it's certified?
We can offer, but he asked us not to charge for it until then. And I think part of it is that he gives us some framework, so we're like, so we're legally safe. That if people feel like I don't know, to hold us free from harm, things like that. Yeah, nothing more serious. And also, I've seen for myself, and my family can testify to it, I had a rough process in the first couple of weeks going through it. So I think he's right with us, just like, hold your horses, complete the process, and then you go out.
Right. Okay. And is it safe for me to say, because what I'm hearing is that you also need to generate some money or some income, right? So that's one of the other reasons why you were thinking about the pay what you want.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And
so
I'm wondering, does it come from a limiting money mindset? That's why I'm asking, is there a better idea?
Yeah. Okay. So if we were to summarize and encapsulate sort of your how do I or your question, what would it be in a sentence or two max?
How do I make money staying in flow?
Perfect. Perfect question. All right. Who has some observations and or suggestions for Susanna around that? How does she specifically make some money by staying in flow? Just raise your hand up. Allison, go ahead.
I would suggest maybe getting in flow first and then the money will follow. So I think maybe just what brings you joy, and then do that. As opposed, yeah, I don't know if that made any sense, but it's just observation in terms of just turning it around, because it just gives a different perspective to it. Like, what do I do that brings me joy? And then you coming back to vibrational marketing, you will attract.
Love it.
I hear you, Alison. I just know I need a lot of time in my studio to prepare for this Fashion Week thing. And if I also work on client project, I have one building project going on, so that will bring in money. It's just stop and go. So I feel it would be nice to have something that just gives me just minimal cash flow, so I can go for a coffee and I don't need to wait until this whole marketing campaign, Fashion Week, whatever is, or the building project comes to an end. It's like just to keep the boat afloat and do something towards family finances. And these sessions are such fun. And so it's so amazing to see people's face change, like from when they come in to when they go out.
Yep.
Suzanne, can I just jump in? If you like these sessions, it's of course it's because Dell's fantastic, and we're all coming from the same place here, around genius, you're around wealth dynamics, around all that stuff that Roger does. Do you have a professional community there where you are? You know, I mean, your own community, your own, even your own professional circle. Do you have maybe 10 or 20 people who would like to find out more about what we're all doing here? This is going somewhere.
Yes.
Because I can give you something that you can share with them that will get you immediately hooked into what we do and potentially create a revenue stream for you. Because we have the virtual EFT events, we have other stuff too, but specifically around EFT, I can supply you with some tickets for that event if you can find the kind of people who might really tune into what we all do here. Tina is one of our top affiliates, and she'll tell you all about that. You know, if you can share what we do with other people, and they get involved with what we do, you know, that's the way the whole online world works now. And I can certainly hook you up with that. So, you know, in answer to your kind of infrared level question, as we might put it, you know, we've moved on, haven't we? Even Roger's moved on from saying, well, you've got to go and get a job. I mean, you've already got a job and you're looking for something else. So, yeah, you know, that might work really well for you. So maybe we can have a conversation offline after this call about that and get you hooked up with EFT.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would definitely like to explore. I have these people, and I was actually the other day already trying to put a product together around this to put it on the store. It's like 80% complete. And you asked in the beginning what we wanted from Genius U, or what we wanted. Like, I wondered if no, I don't need that right now. It's okay. Forget that.
No, please go.
I will see that I can get this complete and put it up.
Susanna, if you'd like resources on how to get your stuff up online on GU and how to build out your presence and all the rest of it, I've just dropped the link into the chat there. It's
this, yeah.
Kind of like a pro degree.
I need to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to go
Absolutely.
back there.
Have a look, but also drop me a line. You know, on the GU side, you can come to me direct, and I'm more than happy to support you in getting things up online and making sure that you're at least presenting yourself whereby you have the chance of generating some revenue. Now, Xander, hasn't had as much support from me as he maybe would have liked, because I had a chat with him a couple of weeks ago and then had a little bit of leave and disappeared. But we have worked together, and Xander's really proactive, and he's got his products and his micro course and micro school and all the rest of it up online now. So, you know, that's another side of it here. We're here to collaborate on that as well, and I'm sure Xander would be prepared to share with you how easy or how difficult he found it to get his products up there online. And I also know that Xander will be able to help you read very much more quickly, which absolutely will help everybody in the room, without a doubt. Anybody who's, sorry to shamelessly plug Xander here, but really have a look at his stuff on GU. It's really cool. All right, so I did do one of my classic segues there again. Please, Del, bring us back to where we were.
No, it's wonderful. I love what you bring to the group and your input, Duncan. It's always fantastic. And I just want to piggyback off of that, because I said this a little bit earlier before, but whether you know it or not, the fact that you are here today, you've just acquired 11, 12 new partners. And you should feel free to interact with each other and to collaborate with each other. And as I mentioned, the circle is one way to certainly do that, but there's 1,000 ways that you can do that and collaborate. So please feel free to do that. Any other observations or suggestions that you may have for Susanna and what she's looking to do? Yes, Xander.
Yeah, the opportunity of you teaching someone, Suzanne, if you put a price tag and you say it's a pilot, it's okay. Whenever you put something, I study flow really deep. Whenever you are in your flow profile, you need to do something a little difficult to get more flow. It's not to do something easy. Just because I'm a creator, I'm just creating. No, you need to do a project and then it's a deadline, and it's a little difficult. So you have a client and they are paying. It's more responsibility, and they respect you more, and then you make some money, and then they are happier, and you learn more because you are challenging yourself because you're doing it. So the same with putting your course on Genius U. It's difficult. I don't know. Is it right? That's too much writing. You do it, and then you progress. So just go for it and charge someone. Someone will be happy to pay, and you learn more.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Anyone else like to offer for Susanna? Susanna, what I would say is I can respect, and it sounds like you're respecting the trainer's suggestion that you not sell the program and, or have someone pay for the program until you're certified. And one interpretation that I would have on that is that it does make sense not to sell the full-blown program until you are fully certified to deliver that. And I would say there are probably aspects of the program that you have learned along the way that also would deliver tremendous value in and of themselves. So the business equation is very simple. It's you add value to a certain clientele, and they believe that value is worth taking money out of their wallet and giving it to you. And there's an equitable win-win exchange. And so there might be aspects of the course that you've gone through. I know because I've gone through it as well. So I know that even though before certification, there are things that you can do that can add value, and you can charge for those. So you don't have to offer them the entire full-blown thing, which you're still not certified for, but there are aspects of it that would be able to, that you could create value, and you could generate funds from that. So that's my suggestion to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So tell me
Also,
what you
I'm just
heard.
thinking, yeah,
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, please.
Well,
I think we're on the same page. Tell me what you've heard, and tell me what you, if anything, you're inspired to do next.
I feel so inspired to be like back with you guys because of this. Let's do it now. Let's perfect it later. And I mean, nothing stops me to put this to market now and have people book in I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks time, but then I have the slots filled. So yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Wonderful realization. Wonderful realization. Truly brilliant. All right. Well, we are coming to near the end of our time. According to my clock, we got about 3 minutes left. Duncan, are there anything that you want to wrap us up with before we leave?
Oh, I'd like to tuck you all in, you know, in that way. There's a lot of love in the room tonight. Not really. I'll drop the link. If anyone's not in the group, in the circle, I'll drop the link in again. And we have got that sheet here. What I would really, really love, even though, you know, for whatever reason, it was down to me, we're quite a small group. When this happens, I'm usually kind of relieved and happy because it does give us all a bit of space to express ourselves. And, you know, anyway, look, I just want to say that it doesn't end here, and it's not just about the monthly sessions where we all get to meet and talk live. I would really love it if we can keep the conversation going in the circle. I know Alison's going to keep her eye on that. She's getting more and more involved all over GeniusU lately. And I'd really love it if we can keep that conversation going. We've got the sheet. You know, so I had an idea. I don't know if this is a crazy idea, but spreadsheets, as far as I'm aware, they've got literally an unlimited number of columns on them. So I don't think anybody, especially those of us here who put our challenges and our information in that sheet, I don't think anybody would mind if anybody else wanted to take a cell, you know, to the right of what they put and give feedback or any information or guidance or anything, because that's what it's all about. It's an advisory board, isn't it, Dylan? And you're the chairman of the board, as it were. But I just thought to myself, I was looking at that sheet, and you've been so good as to put your stuff in there. There's a few things I would like to add. So go for it, guys. Open up the sheet through the month. If you see things, if you've got ideas, drop comments in, and I certainly will. I've been, you know, I've got sparks going off in my little brain just from the few conversations we've had here. So I think it might be a bit of a slow burner. It could be the case that if I really get my act together and make sure the emails work, wow, we could have 50 people on here next time, but it probably wouldn't be as good, and we're probably going to end up needing 10 Dells. So while I'm kind of buggering it up, as we'd say in England, and not getting 50 people here, let's absolutely make the most of it, guys, and let's get a little tribe together so that when we come to the next call, we'll know exactly where we're at, and we'll be able to inspire the new cohort. That's me.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Half hour.
Duncan, do you have at your disposal the Q&A link? You're muted right now.
Not only muted, but because I'm off my Zoom screen, hitting the spacebar won't help either, will it? So yeah, firstly, the first thing I'll drop in is again the link to the circle. just in case anybody hasn't got it. And my most able and glamorous assistant, Tina, has just dropped the link in for the spreadsheet. So thanks very much there, Tina. So that's there. I think we've got everything. Look, guys, one last thing. We're running over time, but of course, you know, this isn't why Dell's here. Dell's only here to serve. He's an ex-military man, you know. But so it's on me to remind you that Dell does have another circle, which isn't advisory board. It's his Dell Lewis Venturepreneur Circle. And he's got some fantastic products in the store. Now, it's all like, you know, you've got the vibe of what Dell does. And I'm not expecting anybody to just jump straight through there and click and say, yeah, let's go and make a purchase. I'm sure Dell's available to chat with anyone. There's a couple of people on this call specifically who I know for a fact with very small investment could get the absolute earth out of Dell and move forward so bloody quickly. But that's just my pitch. Anyway, I'm going to put the link in the chat if anyone wants to have a look at what Dell does, apart from giving us all of his valuable time. All right.
Thank you for that. That was very kind of you and very generous. Look, as Duncan said, I absolutely love this. This is my passion. People talk about their passions and doing what they want. I feel like I'm in flow. I felt like I've been in flow for the past hour and a half. Thank you all for being a part of that. I truly appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you. Duncan, do we have the date for the next one, or is that we need to negotiate that?
We don't, and yeah, that's
okay.
We'll meet you on the border. We'll meet you on the border and we'll negotiate.
Yeah, we'll get that information out to you on the next one. But I think the more that you get involved and the more you come, exponentially, your value will start to grow. So I look forward to seeing you all on the next thing, what we do, and see you in the circle. And thank you all for your energy and your presence today, because it's been truly a gift to me. So
thank you so much, Del. And
without further ado, I will end this session. Everyone have a great rest of your day, wherever you happen to be in this beautiful world of ours. Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.